Hi, my name is Nick Kukela, and I've been a nurse for almost 20 years. Most recently, I've been working in the operating room on the general team. A common problem we run into in the operating room for open cases primarily is a sufficient amount of light in the areas where light is required. Above me are two of the surgical lights that we use. We have three of them in every one of our OR suites. These are actually less than a year old, so very new. They offer a significant source of light onto the surgical field. However, surgeons still complain it's not enough light and it doesn't get to the correct areas on the surgical field. I'll show you why. This is a light handle that we commonly use. It's a disposable plastic light handle, and this screws in a clockwise motion and allows the surgical staff to move the light. It will allow you to angle the light. It'll allow you to get about 3.5, 4 feet away from the surgical field. It's not the most ideal and easiest to move, and you're limited on light getting to the right angles that surgeons most often want to get to. Some surgeons will wear the headlamp or light, and it's pretty much a harness that has a beam of light that's battery powered. So they can get a little closer. As I was saying earlier, these lights are about 3.5, 4 feet away from the surgical field. The head beams will get as close as the head will get to the surgical field, and that's about 1.5 feet, 2 feet. They do get very uncomfortable after 45 to 60 minutes, and a lot of times surgeons will take them off. So during my second or third year, I was involved in a thyroidectomy case, and the doctor was complaining of the light sources being insufficient, and that is where I came up with my Johnson & Johnson Quick Fire challenge idea. And what that is taking this light handle and turning it into a light handle that has a light within the light handle and detaches. So the internal components of the end of the light handle will essentially be a 300 lumen or so powered flashlight. It will counterclockwise turn off and detach from the actual base of the light handle and will be free to move around the surgical field. To better show you what I'm talking about, and this is far from a prototype, but it's the best I have right now, it would look like this. So this would be the plastic, this would be the light handle, this would be screwed in counterclockwise, this goes in clockwise to the actual receptacle on the overhead light. This part would be all plastic, and at the end of it would be a high beam light source. The light handle would come in two pieces and would be screwed in by the surgical technologist or the scrub nurse and put up on the light at the beginning of the field, just like the disposable light handles. So after they're put in, clockwise turning, a counterclockwise half turn would free this light up. There would be a button on the side that would turn the light on. While in place, you could screw this back in and use it as a high beam light, or you could unscrew it and bring it down to the field to capture all of those hard angles to get to. This could go all the way to the surgical field, inches away from where the surgeons are performing surgery. I work in a teaching hospital, and we have extra people at the bedside nearly every case, so they always want to feel part of the case. This would be an excellent opportunity to let them feel part of the case while holding a flashlight for the surgeon directly in the surgical field. As I was saying, mainly in open cases, if we do an exploratory laparotomy, the incision's about this big, we use a retractor to kind of retract the skin back, forming almost an oval or a circle. And if the doctors are working beneath the skin in the cavity, it's very hard to get light to that area. This light handle is the solution to that light problem. I have been thinking about this for the last 2 or 3 years, and I have not had the resources to make this idea come to life. I've ordered parts from China, and I've tried to construct a prototype, and every time I order the wrong part, I have to wait 3 or 4, sometimes up to 6 weeks for the parts to come in. When I heard about this Johnson & Johnson Quickfire Challenge, I thought it was a great fit for this idea, because for this idea to come to life, I need engineering help, some grant money, and the use of a 3D printer and guidance from engineer-minded people. So I'm very grateful for this challenge, and thank you very much for this opportunity.